Hello folks, welcome to the Land Tamer channel. We're not doing this live, we had some streaming issues again, but we're going to talk tonight about part 7 of our series regarding a first-timer's trip to Cisco Live. And this is about the Cisco Learning Network and in particular VIRL. This should probably be done as sort of a separate stream, not part of this series, but I want to do it anyway just because it illustrates some of the opportunities you have with attending Cisco Live in person, right? And I'm going to get into that in a minute, but the Cisco Learning Network was part of the World of Solutions, the showroom floor, and they had a small booth, but that's where the VIRL folks were, and they were actually given a demo of a potential future product. But this is one of the areas that I sought out. It wasn't just that I casually found Cisco Learning Network. This was part of my mission of going there, is I wanted to try to meet and talk with some of the devs to ask them about the future of the product. It's kind of one thing I try to cover in this channel is network and lab software, of course. New versions, new developments, updates, upgrades, performance differences, feature differences, support differences. And I've tended to cover those quite a bit, and I generally try to come out pretty quickly with information that may or may not help others that are trying to decide what lab software they're going to use. The main three that I've covered, of course, are GNS3, EVE-NG, and VIRL. There are some others out there, but these are kind of three of the mainstream, in particular for CCIE studies, right? CCIE routing and switching. So anyway, I tracked them down. I'm like, okay, once I get a little time out on the showroom floor, I definitely got to go try to find the VIRL folks. And generally they even tweet it out, come by and see, what we're working on with the VIRL product. So there was an invite there, and they definitely did have a demo that they were showing. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about sort of what I saw as where the product was going, and some of the interactions and feedback that I was able to have with folks, with the devs and with other product representatives who were there on the showroom floor interacting with the community, which was awesome. So again, this is an illustration of the kind of things you can do at Cisco Live in person. That is one of the reasons that it's really great to go, right? Because you get to meet some of these people who are the real deal, people involved the day-to-day, people who are involved in decision-making with the product. You can give feedback, you can meet these people and get to know you. And this was definitely a great takeaway for me because this is a mission I had, and it worked out beautifully. So let's talk about the demo. One thing that has come up, and I was quite pleased they had recognized me and watched my performance video, which is good. I think it's important because not only the developers that were there, but there was sort of a product, I don't know what his title is, but he is a person who is sort of in charge of, I guess, management or sales of the product. I'm not exactly sure, but he was a management person that is involved with VIRL. And all three of them knew who I was and had seen the video comparing the three products, which I think is great. In that they're paying attention, right? So I don't know how they found out about my video. I did use the hashtag VIRL, and maybe they saw it that way. But either way, it's a positive indication to me that it seems that, despite how large Cisco is, this is sort of a smaller piece of the big empire, right? In fact, they had a small little booth, but yet these folks are paying attention to the community. At least they are hearing some things that the community is saying. I can vouch for that at least. So one of the things that came up about performance, and I asked about that, of course, and I've cited the video, and I've always stated that VIRL just seems to have a good bit of overhead. And it seems to be a common agreement that the fact that VIRL is based on openstack environment, it does add overhead. It does give it some flexibility in terms of deployment options and potentially future deployment options, places you can put it, in in the cloud or in your own, in your own environment. Scalability, I guess, is a term I'm looking for. So the fact that it was built around OpenStack does give it a lot of options in terms of scalability. However, I feel that it seems a big part of the user base of VIRL is people like me running it at home. They're not trying to run it out of the cloud. Some do, but the majority, they're running on a laptop or they're running on an ESX host, and they're labbing for their personal use. I think that's a big part of the user base. Not only people outside of Cisco, but inside of Cisco as well. And I'll get to that in a minute, but, I also seem like there may have been other motivations for using OpenStack. It may have been a little bit about timing, a little bit about politics, and maybe there was a little bit of a need to sort of have a hallmark product for this this adoption or interest of Cisco in OpenStack. And so maybe VIRL was sort of a victim of timing and circumstance. And I don't know, I get the feeling that it's probably not a design choice that was made completely based on user data and or engineering or developer feedback. It feels like there were maybe other factors involved there, but it seems anyway the product that I saw, and again, just a disclaimer here, I want to develop a relationship with the developers and the community regarding all these products. I don't want to burn any bridges. This is a demo as part of Cisco Live, so I don't necessarily want to, disclose things that are probably should not be disclosed publicly, right? But I'm going to give some of my opinions for sure, and that's what I try to do here. But definitely it seems that the product I saw did not look like it was being bogged down by OpenStack components. And I'm going to show you sort of a sneak peek potentially here in a minute. But yeah, the product was very quick. What I saw it actually. I saw nodes restarted. I saw the system restarted. I saw nodes routers deployed, and whatever this product is that they're working on, that they were demoing, it didn't, as far as I could tell, it did not really have a name. It did not have a release number. There's no release date. This is all like alpha stuff. Probably not even beta tested yet, but it was slick. It is really, really slick, and it's fast, and it was web-based, and it was modular. Like what I mean by modular is not like in the OpenStack sense, but modular in the sense that you could sort of on the fly add a node into a topology, for example. You didn't have to bring down the entire topology to insert nodes or even make cabling and other changes. From what I saw, all this stuff was being done on the fly, and it was fast. So needless to say, I was very impressed with the demo. I was glad I got to see it. I'm really excited about it. Again, I don't have allegiance necessarily to any one particular product. I use what I think works for me, but I do try to review everything because I want to keep all my options open, and I want to keep a close, feel of the pulse of this software space and what is happening, right? Because it's very important to me, and I know to a lot of others in this community. So that was one thing I asked. So I was like, okay, this looks great, guys. This looks very promising, this product. A couple of problems that I tried to express, and that is one, the licensing model that is there now. There's the personal edition, which is the 20 node license, up to 20 nodes. And then you have the CML, which is a SKU you can purchase from Cisco Modeling Labs, which is essentially, it's just VIRL, but with more scalability and capability there and more cost. As many know, VIRL is, I believe it still is a $200 subscription model per year for the personal edition. I actually asked, so I haven't been able to see any pricing models, and I think there is for CML. I just innocently asked, so what if I want to use this at my company? I know I can call my account manager, but just give me a ballpark, like what's. And it sounded like just to get a base edition, I think it's licensed by nodes too. I got that impression. Like there's different SKUs based on the number of nodes that you need to use in CML, but like just the very low base was. I could have been, I could be misquoting. It sounded to me it was like over $3,000. Essentially, to get a real base version of VIRL in your corporate environment, enterprise environment, with support. So, yeah, and then it goes way up from there, depending on how many nodes you need to use in your modeling environment. So, my feedback on that was, wow, that's first of all for the personal edition. There's not a lot of leeway there. There's essentially your 20 node and that's it. A lot of people got off of VIRL, and I think people that were trying out VIRL, when that licensing model changed, you had a lot of outside customers, meaning outside of Cisco. You had a lot of people outside of Cisco who said, okay, that's it. I'm not using VIRL anymore because I need more than 20 nodes. And they recognize that. Everyone that I talked to there was like, yeah, we understand, and we realize that makes it difficult for the community. And there have been discussions about, they're very well aware. It's not like they don't know. They see what people are saying. They understand the difficulties. I get the impression that they are working on new pricing models, not just for VIRL personal edition, but also in the corporate environment. More tiers, different tiers. That was at least my feedback. So that, who knows, it may be coming. I understand, at least I get the sense that it's challenging to do any kind of licensing model with Cisco. I have no idea what that's like to sort of have to come up with a product SKU that you want to sell nationally, internationally. We all know how difficult Cisco licensing is just for our jobs. And to do a product like this and to revise and adjust the pricing model and the licensing, there's got to be a lot of paperwork behind that, I know. But they recognize the issue, and hopefully in the future there will be changes to that. So my question too was, all right, folks, so, this future alpha, whatever this is, looks great. But is there going to be long-term support? Like, that's always an issue, or that I've seen, a concern I have with investing in any of these products, whether it be, GNS3, and there are different pricing models. There is a supported paid model for GNS3 as well as for EvenG. There's EvenG Pro, and there's another edition of EvenG, like a third tier. And then, of course, VIRL. So my question then was, what's the support inside of Cisco? Like, is Cisco behind this product? We don't see a lot of release cycles. Like, generally, you get an announcement about a webinar. So once you know that you get an email about a webinar, okay, well, that probably means a VIRL update is coming. And it usually will say, VIRL version 1.6 or whatever. But there's not a lot of feedback of information like there are with other products. This is our next release, or this is our planned release. We're hoping we're targeting this date. Give us some feedback. That was my feedback to them. And they were respectfully listened to me. I'm sure they've heard all this before and have thought about it before. It's not like I'm was offering anything new, but I was at least trying to express, if you give us more information, maybe about what is coming up, what are, is going to be a next release, what are your sort of release cycles, that would be great. And oftentimes, also, when there was a webinar, which was a pseudo sort of announcement that a new version was coming, even during the webinar, there was still no solid release information. So you'd have to sort of check every day, or wait for an email, wait for a tweet. Okay, you can now download VIRL. Seems a little shot from the hip, And I know it's not that way. I know there's a lot of thinking that goes into it, but that was just some of my feedback. There are fans of VIRL out there. I'm one of them. I'm a fan of all three, that of these networking software packages. But give some info to your fans, boost your fan base, make your fans happy, And anyway, that was a little bit of feedback. And I will say the folks I talked to, some of them were devs, product manager, whatever you want to call them. They're very receptive, very keen in feedback. They were modest, humble folks. I know they're very intelligent. I actually watched some of them work, and they're very smart people, obviously. So, I just really liked it. It was great meeting the folks involved with that product, and they're really good people, hardworking people. They've got a lot of bright ideas. So I look forward to the future to see what VIRL is going to come out with, because I'm not just using the software for certification on a short-term basis. VIRL, I've used it, had it for years, as well as GNS3, Eve. I'm new to Eve, NG. But, this is software, this is a partnership/relationship for years to come. I'm going to be using lab software, modeling software, etc. So out of that, there did come the product guy, person, I should say, took down my name, my email address. He was like, we have an advisory council. We may ask for involvement, because I was volunteering. I said, hey, if you want more feedback, if you'd like someone to test your software, I'd be happy to do so. Let me know, So we'll see what comes out of that. I haven't heard anything yet, but it's, still very recent from Cisco Live. And I do have, I don't think I was supposed to take photos, but I did sort of snag a photo. So you've got this, and again, I don't want to reveal like everything just because don't want to burn bridges. But as you can see, this is a web-based interface here, and you've got these devices, server 1, server 2, IOSV, external connection. By the way, they were kind of building this stuff on the fly. Like, I know they had some built demos, but they were showing me some things on the fly, and it was fast, and it was cool, and it worked. And again, it was web-based. And as you see, there's some tabs here, edit config interfaces, all sort of web-based. And so that's all I managed to snag is just one picture. And, I was trying to be, careful about that. But anyway, if you were there at Cisco Live and you went by the Cisco Learning booth, you would have gotten to see a lot of the product, right? And it was impressive. So that's really all I have as far as part 7. Another great reason, if you're first time going to Cisco Live, or you're thinking about the next Cisco Live, just remember that these are the networking opportunities you get. You go meet the people, the product people, the people involved at Cisco itself. They're people just like us, and they want to network too. So you got to take advantage of that as much as you can, right? And I think that went I was really pleasantly surprised with my visit to the Cisco Learning Network booth at the World of Solutions. Meat chunks, I just have one today. This is not easy to find, but important to Cisco Doc. And I have to give a shout out to Frosthammer in the Discord channel. This is something I really need. And I don't know if you've noticed this and I've vlogged about this. I don't know, back in April maybe it was. Cisco revised again the structure of the support documentation site, not for the better, in my opinion. Rarely have I seen lately changes to the documentation page that represented an improvement. Okay, and some documents disappeared. Well, apparently this was found through an account manager. Frosthammer was looking for this, and I'm glad he did, because I have to study this a lot before the next written. But this is a design guide that was hard to find. Well, here's a link to it. So if you have the link, you can get to it. If you're searching for it, forget about it. I don't think you'll be able to find it, but there it is. There have been a couple other documents like that I can no longer find on Cisco support website that I feel like I still need. I wish I would have downloaded them. I'm going to start doing that more. Yes, it is legacy, it is older stuff, but you know, some of us still use it. Some of us still have to support it, whether Cisco supports it or not. What does it cost extra? It's obviously still out there in storage. What does it cost to them to make it searchable or linkable? Anyway, I'll get off that soapbox. That's all I got for tonight, folks. What I'm studying is today I listened to, just go over my written progress, 28 days ago. I've gone over IPv6. I watched 2 parts of 2 different on-demand sessions, technical breakout sessions. There is a way to download these, folks. If you're in our Discord channel, you'll find out how to do that. It's real simple, but I like to do it so that I can watch it on. I can put these in iTunes. I can watch them on Apple TV, watch them on my phone, iPad, or whatever. But yeah, you can download these, and of course the slide presentation. So I'm going to probably finish this one tonight. Hitchhiker's Guide to IPv6 by Nicole Wager. Great stuff. That's 3304. And then I finished, for the most part, I killed it towards the end, but deploying an IPv6 address plan, deploying IPv6. There's some interesting slides in here. For example, this is sort of a trivia slide. This is really good, NAT64. That's one thing I need to study. What are the differences? I definitely recommend you know this. And there's sort of a trivia question about, how many IP addresses can you have per interface? That's a good sort of trivia question there. Yeah, slide 45. So if you know the answer to this, you're in good shape. I did not know the answer to all these, but this would be a good sort of quiz for you, I think. For any type of exam, I would imagine. So yeah, those are a couple I went over. So I hope to finish that one tonight and then continue my study with IPv6 and tunneling topologies and configurations. That's what I'll be working on. So I got my brew here, folks. Got a little bit of coffee left from the French press. About to knock that out. About to try to round up some good bits here and, hit this study time, make some good progress. I hope you're able to do the same. It's Monday in June in the summertime. I know there's probably a lot of other things you like to be doing, but here we are. If this is your study time, I wish you the best. Hit that study, hit those labs. Wishing you all the good bits, folks. We will see you back here tomorrow, same time, at Land Tamar Stream. Have a good night.